Well, good morning to you. It's Tuesday, September the 8th. We are moving along with this month. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour or so. We've got two co-hosts today. Brittany Pacheco joining us from her newly refurbished studio at her house. Good morning, Brittany.
Yeah, that's right, Todd. Good morning. How are you doing? It was a nice 3-day weekend. And we are back here for Up to the Minute. And I just want to remind everyone to take the time to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Frank, I'm gonna toss it over to my co-host, Frank Cooper, to talk about YouTube a little bit.
Look, y'all, we're trying to grow the show. Hit the notification bell. Follow us. Let's make this show popping. Let's get it, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. Let's get it.
Well, that's right, Frank. A rousing endorsement there. We appreciate that. Well, we're going to be back with both of you shortly. And, I went to go see a movie this weekend. There's so much to discuss with that because it just blew my mind. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But first things first, we got some special guests today, two guests talking about the same subject. Dr. Michael Webster, the Associate Vice Chancellor of Workforce Instruction, here with us. Good morning, Dr. Webster.
Morning. How are you?
We're great. And also a reoccurring guest on the show. He's a friend of the show, Sean Otmishi, the Dean of Digital Information Technology COE and the Acting Dean of the Advanced Manufacturing COE. Good morning to you, Sean.
Good morning, Todd. Thanks for having me on your show again.
And we're glad to have you with us. You're becoming a regular here. I think we're going to have to get you a segment in the future.
That sounds like a plan.
Well, today we're talking about something that's going to pique your interest. We're talking about the future of our economy and the emerging workforce as far as where it goes with this age of automation. What exactly do we mean? Well, of course, we've got two COEs right now that Sean's going to tell us about, which are working to present their programs online in a virtual world. And Dr. Mike Webster comes into the picture with the workforce program and how those programs can be incorporated. Dr. Webster, are there certain jobs out there that can be far better given this age of automation?
Yeah, certainly. It's almost 10 years ago that the first real report on this kind of changing automation and the effects of automation on the workforce came out. And at that point, they were saying about 80% of jobs that would be automated and that leaving just 20% for the folks to fight over. They've kind of come off of that quite a bit. I think the pandemic has actually shown folks that working with people is essential. So, the key thing, and somebody once told me this, is if you can fix things, fix people, or fix society, you're going to have a job. So you think about HVAC workers, you think about anything in the social sector, government sector, education sector, those type of jobs are going to be strong. And right now, certainly anything that you can do with your hands is going to be strong. Construction, again, I mentioned HVAC, and then of course, the security side of anything in IT. So, there's automations taking over a lot of jobs, those that are easily replicable, but in long term, we still got to fix things.
You had also given us some information about something called the future of work ingredients. What are those? Can you list those off?
Yeah, so there's four kind of key things that policymakers need to look at when they're deciding on what the economy is going to look at for the region. The economic structure that exists in your area. So are jobs easily going to be lost to automation in your market? And if so, then you need to kind of pivot what you're doing as a larger economy. The labor market conditions in your area as well. So if jobs that you typically see in your region focus more on business services, a lot of those jobs can be automated. And so you want to look at how you're going to change the labor market to affect continue getting workers. The next thing is just the conditions, the social conditions in which you're in. So at what point is society bent toward social services more than it is towards a thriving economy? You think of somewhere like Detroit, for example, where the economy is shifted away from labor heavy and more to automation. You're left with a lot of social services in that area. And then the last one is, does an economy that you're in have the skills and worker that it needs. So the biggest example I can give for Houston is probably the loss of the Amazon headquarters.
Right.
Amazon looked at us and said, hey, we just don't see enough workers here that can meet our digital need. So I think that kind of speaks to the need of programs like Sean's to get the workers that our region needs.
And Sean, I'll bring you into this conversation. That's kind of concerning when Amazon's looking at Houston. I mean, we're the 4th largest city in the country, and they're thinking that we do not have enough skilled workers that can handle their needs. That's got to concern you because we need to start looking at training these folks.
It does. And to be perfectly honest with you, we've taken the approach where we're not in the back seat, but we're in the front seat, and we've buckled up and we're ready to go. So we're offering a new program in information technology called the Associate Applied Science of Artificial Intelligence. So when you start looking at that program, it's really towards application development using deep learning, machine learning, and for students to be able to start learning how to build smart machines that are capable of being able to do tasks that normally humans would do. So that's really the gist of it. But I think what's interesting with manufacturing now is we're now blending the two, where we're looking at the next generation of manufacturing, or manufacturing 4.0, where we're taking a lot of those AI concepts that are being pushed directly into these smart machines. So for example, your traditional manufacturing is now data driven. So a lot of our technologies that are being put into that require that AI component. So the manufacturing side, we're doing something called a Certified Production Technician, CPT 4.0, which actually takes our traditional concepts of AI and 5G and so forth, and we're putting that directly into the skill sets needed for the manufacturing group as well. So they're blending the two together.
Advanced manufacturing, you brought it up a second ago, but if there's going to be automation, it seems like it would happen in that field. Is that one that lends itself more to automation? And but you guys are still training workers to facilitate those machines and the applications that you use for advanced manufacturing.
Right, it's the same equipment, but now these equipments now have programming logical controllers on there. They're connecting to the internet, IoT. So now we're starting to offer courses that rely directly on to be able to install and configure and troubleshoot those items. So I think what you're seeing, there's a shift where you have your traditional manufacturing students, but now you're having this new group of people that are coming in. They're going to have both sides, both the traditional manufacturing as well as the process automation with it as well.
I'll ask this question to both of you guys. Do you see more companies and organizations coming to HCC as we move into the future to get their workers trained for new applications? I'll start with you, Mike.
Yeah, I would say that all companies and generally all jobs at this point have a base level digital skill that's required. An easy example would be when you go into a Walmart, all of the refrigerated section is actually handled by somebody out in Arkansas. So there's operators looking at the machines and saying, hey, you got a machine out, go get somebody to fix it. The skills behind that are all digitally based, and everybody's got to pivot to that environment.
Sean, you're over 2 COEs, and people would think there's not much in touch with the two, but you found a way to really blend the work of the two together. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that, because I know you're working on different applications that would go across to both of the centers of excellences.
Yeah, so the Manufacturing Skills Standard Council, has a certified production technician, the CPT 4.0. And our faculty have started getting certified in that particular area, which now leads to the next generation 4.0 credentials, which goes back into IoT, AI, 5G, and so forth. So what's interesting is now I have the networking faculty on the computer science side working closely with the manufacturing group. And it's great because they're cross-pollinating, they're working together, and they're building this new curriculum that's able to support both these groups.
And I know I've seen some pictures of you posting on Facebook about working with other centers of excellence like the Public Safety Institute. Maybe you could tell me about your work reaching across the district to help them get involved and really deliver an online education, because this is, although it's been done for years, this is really new to HCC because we're having to do this now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the work that we're doing is towards virtual reality, and so we're dealing with 360 4K cameras. And so our group with Digital Communications is working closely with all the COEs to be able to offer 4K content, where it's in a 360 environment where the faculty can be empowered to be able to create customized content and put it online. And so our group is going in and we're working on developing a workshop, providing some instruction, and really giving them the tools they need to be able to do this. We want the faculty in those programs to be completely enabled to be able to do what they need to do to promote their programs.
Mike, I want to ask you about the future of work scenarios. What do you see in working with Sean, and what have you learned, and what do you see us doing as we move forward in the future, and the implications of these scenarios?
Yeah, and just referencing back to that report I said that had 80% jobs being automated, it really freaked people out. So, leaders across the world got together at one point and said, hey, we're going to have to look at this and see what the impact's going to be for each of our individual economies. So basically there's a sliding scale in these scenarios. And on the far end, it would be a world where all of us have no job because everything's been automated. And then at the other end, it's us playing very nicely with technology to make things happen. And I think that's where we want to really be. How do we make and enhance our lives based on the available technology that's out there? And how do we still make productive citizens out of everybody? So I think that's the goal ultimately, is that we're using technology to feed into our local economies.
Can I add
Sean,
to that?
I want to ask you, Sean, as a student is training for this, are there strategies to adjust to this automation, things you could be thinking of? How can I still be useful in this world of automation?
Yeah, from a computer scientist perspective, I mean, we look at these as just tools. We're taking what we normally do as human intelligence, and we're now automating a lot of this to be able to become more accurate and provide more precise information, to be able to grow, forecast, and do what we normally need to do to be able to make that additional widget or increase productivity. I would say that it's just a tool. I think people need to understand that these are tools that are being utilized to be able to help them do what they do on a daily basis. But I think what people need to really focus on is the human perspective, or the human interest will always be there, and you're going to need a human to be able to move forward with this.
And the jobs are certainly out there right now. From what both of you are saying, it's sounding like have been the essential jobs of people that have been working throughout this pandemic.
Right.
For sure.
Mike, I want to ask you before we go, because I know we're going to be exploring this more in another show that we'll be doing later this week, but HCC has kind of a unique partnership with Gallery Furniture. Maybe you can briefly tell us about this.
Yeah, Gallery Furniture, Mattress Mac, our local celebrity, if you will, he wanted to do something to get folks back to work. And so he donated a large portion of his store off of the North Freeway and converted it to a training center. And so we're offering welding, construction, electrical, child development, and we're also sending students to our automotive center in connection with it. So it's a great opportunity for the community, and definitely a great partnership for HCC.
And we want to let all our viewers know Mattress Mac and Dr. Mike Webster will be guests on an episode of The Topic, which will be airing later this week. So keep an eye out for that. Sean, you think we can get Mattress Mac involved with the VR program somehow?
I think we definitely need to. So Mike, when you talk to him, let him know that we want to hang out with him and show him some VR stuff.
That sounds good. Will do.
Awesome. Great.
Gentlemen, I appreciate both of you taking some time and joining us on the show. Dr. Webster, we will see you later on in the week. And Sean, it's always great to see you. And we're going to try to get you a special segment on the show. It's going to happen.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you both for being here.
All right. Take care.
We are going to move on to Brittany and Frank. Guys, before we get our HCC information in there, I want to talk to you both because I had a chance to go to the movies over the weekend. The movies are ramping up once again. Of course, last week I went to a horrible movie, just terrible movie. It was the #1 movie in America a week ago. I'm just going to leave it at that. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But this week it was an interesting movie, but I left there going there saying, what just happened? I have no idea, but I enjoyed the movie. I went to go see Tenant. Have you seen that yet?
No, it's definitely on our must-watch list. I mean, because it's Christopher. I believe it's directed by Christopher Nolan, yes, and he directed the Christian Bale Batman, saga, and those were fantastic movies. So, yeah, definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, he also did Dunkirk too, which is I'm not really into war movies, but that was really, really good. So I'm definitely
going to movie. It was, yeah. So the cool thing about it was we went to the theater. There was no one else literally in the whole theater. We were the only ones. We sat in the middle of the theater and there was no one else there. They were showing Tenant literally every 15 minutes. They had a movie running because it was really one of the only new movies released this week. But it was certainly worth watching and certainly worth going to. But you will leave going, what just happened? And then
nice.
It's a little bit long for my taste, but it's a very well-made movie, and it starts right away with action. So when you go to that movie, you know it's like a James Bond movie. It's going to kick off just in your face with some action. I like movies that start that way.
So I heard that movie was an extension, not really a continuation, but an extension on Inception. Is that true?
Well, that would be true, I imagine, if you watched Inception, but I couldn't make it past 10 minutes of Inception. I might go back and rewatch Inception, but we tried watching that, and I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work for me. So maybe so, but it was—
I've never seen Inception.
I haven't either. 10 minutes, that was it.
Well, no, I haven't even watched 10 minutes of it is
okay.
The point. You know, I mean, I know it's been wildly, you know, acclaimed and like it's really out of the box kind of thing, but like it's one of those movies that I just haven't seen. And I love Leo DiCaprio, don't get me wrong. I loved him in Shutter Island. I thought that was a really well done movie. But yeah, no, I definitely want to go see Tenant. I know Frank wants to see it, and then a few of us from our other little podcasts, you know, we like to watch stuff in movies, but yeah, you know, that's exciting to know that it's in theaters and it's something that kind of leaves you guessing. So that's cool. It
does. You're going to walk away wondering what happened and maybe want to watch it again. So I'll definitely do that. Incredible acting in the movie as well. So you definitely should see it. Okay, so we've got some HCC news and announcements. One of them, academic advising kickoff meeting. Brittany, I guess this is going to be happening this coming Friday.
It is. So it's a save the date for the National Academic Advising Association, the Excellence in Academic Advising kickoff meeting on September 11th, which is this Friday. Check your email to be sure to register to participate in one of the two sessions. Those sessions are either at 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. Again, Friday, September 11th. So once again, make sure you check your email for this academic advising kickoff meeting.
And it's that time of year again, Frank, the Chancellor's Excellence Award. Today's the deadline to nominate either a faculty, staff, or administrator who you'd like to, who you think made a significant contribution and achievements in innovation and educational excellence.
That's right, Todd. So the CEA Award is $5,000 per individual or $500 per team member. Nominations should be clearly describe a project or unique effort that contributes to the achievement of the strategic plan.
That's exactly right. So get those nominations in today if you'd like to nominate someone. And I think, Brittany, we also feature them on the convocation where they're presented with the award.
That is absolutely correct, Todd. So last year's winner, I believe, was Richard Gosling, and we've had him on the show once or twice, I believe, on Up to the Minute. So it's a great opportunity for, again, faculty and or staff to be recognized for their hard work that contributes to our strategic plan.
One college trainer spotlight. Well, two more trainers are being recognized as joining the ranks of our One College initiative of testing and training for our students. Annette Loft from the enrollment and Vanessa Grover from recruitment. They joined Cynthia Cortez from admissions and our own Andrew Ty, who are from communications. Thanks for improving our student experience. Congratulations to all. Virtual student lobby, yep, it's open, Brittany, and there are several ways that students can get contacted.
Definitely, Todd. And so we've got 3 options that are available to our students through our virtual lobby. You have your Zoom meeting, your callback option, and email. Now, students, you do not need an appointment at this time. However, because we are trying to register for our second start, which the deadline, by the way, is this Friday to register for second start because it begins on the 21st of this month. So while we are trying to register everyone, we are experiencing a high volume of requests, phone calls, Zoom meeting requests, etc. So pack some patience. Be sure that you're only submitting one request in order to be serviced. We do have extended hours Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5, and Saturdays, yes, Saturdays, from 9 a.m. to 1. If you're interested in receiving any assistance from Student Services, be sure to visit our virtual lobby by heading to hccs.edu/virtual lobby.
So there are a few dates you need to keep in mind for the fall schedule and second start. Number one, September the 11th. Second start registration ends on that day. Classes start December the 21st. Also September.
September.
I said September, didn't I?
You said December.
I'm just way getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's go through that again. September the 11th, which is this Friday, registration for second start ends. September 21st, classes begin. If you want to register for second start, go to hccs.edu/now. Now, Frank, September 28th is also a big date.
It is, Todd. So faculty for in-person classes return to campus. And October 5th, in-person flex campus lab-based courses begin. And so for more information on those sectors, go to hccs.edu/now.
All right, student coffee talk. Brittany, that's happening. I think today there's a session.
There is a session, Todd, and this is hosted by Student Life. They decided to launch their own version of Coffee Talks via WebEx. So the first one for this week is going to be held today at noon, and we're going to be joined by counseling, or rather the counseling department. So be sure to tune into that. Other sessions that are going to happen this week, there's going to be 2 on Wednesday, which is at noon with the library, and then at 2 p.m. with tutoring, because we are offering virtual tutoring for those who need it. And then Thursday, we also have a 2 p.m. session with career services. So this is an awesome opportunity to have our students participate in these sessions, ask questions, get answers, and just to chit chat. So we'll be sure to leave that URL in this post so that if you're interested in registering, you can do so.
Students, if you're having trouble connecting, Frank, we have some outdoor Wi-Fi zones, and they're open right now, and they're free of charge to our students.
Yes, so HCC campuses are still closed, but parking lot resources and outdoor Wi-Fi zones are available. So we'll not be able to access restrooms in the building, and will not be able to have access to outlets to charge devices. But for more information about that, you go to hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi.
And Brittany, we have an online services toolkit for our students as well, which will answer a lot of questions.
Definitely, ranging from technology to textbooks to tutoring, 3 T's, that's funny. It's a one-stop guide for students to have right at their fingertips. So if you're interested in learning more about our online services toolkit, be sure to head over to hccs.edu/online-toolkit.
Are you needing a COVID testing? Do you need to be tested? Maybe you want to clear your mind and make sure you don't have COVID. Well, HCC is offering 4 testing sites. Of course, they're free. A couple of them, Frank, are on the southeast side of town.
Yes, indeed. So at Felix Parker campus, which is 301 North Drennan Street, and Eastside campus, which is 6815 Rustic, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. No appointments needed for those 2 sites. Now, for the second 2 sites, HCC Northeast Campus, which is 555 Community College Drive, and HCC South Campus, which is 1990 Airport Boulevard, those hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So for more information about those sites, call 512-883-2400.
Yeah, that's right. And Frank, you haven't been on the show for some time now. It seems like forever, and we haven't had a chance to catch up in sports. While you were away, I'm sure you watched, but the Rockets picked up a series. They were able to defeat Oklahoma City. Now they're in a bit of a toggle with the LA Lakers.
Yeah, the Rockets, I call Coach D'Antoni the mad scientist, because what they're doing I've never seen before. He's going completely small. So no traditional center, no traditional power forward. And they're battling the Lakers' known size. I mean, Lakers front line averages 7 feet tall. So it's a David versus Goliath matchup, literally. But game one, the Rockets used their quickness and their speed on the defensive perimeter and to get easy shots in the paint. So we'll see. And I know Lakers even up the series 1-1. So we'll see if Lakers can dominate with their size, or the Rockets can dominate with their quickness. So it's gonna be an interesting series. I can see it going 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah, it's also interesting. I think if they win these series, do we have to rethink the DAntoni going somewhere else? Because it's kind of been a given all season. He's at the end of his contract. They don't think he's going to return, or that's what you've been reading. And now teams are expressing interest in him before he's even finished with the Rockets. Should they reconsider and maybe keep him on if they could make it past this series?
I'll tell you right now, Todd, if Mike D'Antoni's not in Houston next year, it should be because Mike D'Antoni doesn't want to be in Houston.
Yeah.
If you're Fertitta in the front office, if you're Daryl Moore, you want him back. It seemed like the team has been molded to run his system. So to bring another coach in, Harden's 30 now, so to bring another coach in, that means James Harden, your star player, Russell Westbrook, your star player, got to get accustomed to a new head coach, a new culture, a new system. I don't know, man. They've had a lot of success over the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, they had some tough breaks, losing Game 7 to Golden State a couple years ago, and losing the second round the year before that. year after that. But they're a competitive team. I feel like the Rockets are maybe a piece away from really competing.
Yeah.
But right now, if they take this to 6 or 7 games against the Lakers, why not retain them and bring them back next year?
Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen there. Are you used to seeing the panels in the background with the fans? Because it's weird to me to at least see all these video screens up instead of a screaming crowd.
You know what? It's been pretty interesting. I know in some of those games you have like former star players and like parents of NBA players on the screens, and the commentators will talk about them. And I think one game when the Mavs played the Clippers, Steph Curry's wife and Dale Curry were all on the screen rooting for their other sibling, Seth, who plays for Dallas. So that was pretty cool. And I think it gives the fans an experience to being part of the game without actually being there. So shout out to NBA of creating that idea, and maybe NFL might do that too. We'll see. They're still dead set on having this game Thursday night.
Yeah, they're starting this week, aren't they?
Yeah.
Weird. No preseason, just straight into the regular season. You know who's been on those screens? Josh Garfield. Our own Josh Garfield's been on a Game 7 screen for the Rockets. His brothers, and both of his brothers have been on there. Who knew? Yeah, he's been on the screen. His dad's been posting pictures of it. Yeah. Our own HCCTV employee, Josh, has been at the Game 7. Yeah.
That's awesome. I would have thought it would be like VIP just to get in that selective group of viewers.
I guess his dad must be pulling a few strings. Yeah, who knows?
Nice, man.
Yeah, Josh. We have to ask him about it. Yeah, Josh has been there. Both of his brothers have been on as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Seen screenshots of it. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see. It's going to be weird with the NFL with hardly any fans. Some stadiums say they're having none. I read that one stadium's going to have 5,000 people in like a 70,000 people stadium. So it's going to be.
I know the Ravens are doing, I think 15% capacity. Kansas City Chiefs are doing 20% capacity. The other NFL teams haven't said anything just yet.
Very strange.
Yeah, college football started last Saturday too, and they had a game yesterday. BYU played Navy yesterday.
Yeah. I
didn't watch it, but yeah, so some of the conferences have already started. The ACC starts this Saturday coming up.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. Brittany, I'm gonna do something real quickly. I'm gonna share my screen. I want to show you something, Brittany. Let's see. There you go. Can you see that?
Oh, Grandpappy Todd.
Yep, there's my wife there. So there's the baby.
Oh, that's nice.
Finally got a chance to meet him this week. So we went over and saw him over the weekend. So that was another big thing over the weekend, meeting my grandson, AJ. So there you go.
How sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I met my grandson and went to go see Tenant. So that was a pretty good weekend in a theater with no one else there. If you want to go to a private movie theater now.
Did we lose your sound, Todd?
Oh, wait, here we go. I hit my microphone. I said, now, if you want to go to a private theater, now's the time to do so. You know, not
Hey, Brittany, we know what Todd did. Todd set the romantic move for his wife. He bought out the movie theaters, just him and his wife, a couple of candlelit, a Tenant. We know what you're doing, man.
Well, we did have one other friend with us too, so another friend came and joined us. It was
Moment's gone.
3 of us in one theater, so still like a private showing.
Moment's gone.
Yeah.
How much did you pay to get into the theater? Because I know when AMC was reopening, it was like 15 cents.
I didn't pay anything because I'm part of that movie plan with Regal.
Yeah.
And you pay like $20 a month so you can go see as many movies as you want. There aren't that movies right now, but I actually was free because Regal, when they reestablished themselves, they suspended the movie plan for a few months. And then the first month they gave you for free. So I'm in the free month right now. So it's not a bad deal.
That's fancy.
Definitely worth seeing. Yeah.
Pinky up, because that's fancy.
Yep. Definitely worth seeing. So folks, that about wraps up the show for today. We're glad to have you with us. Tomorrow, we've got a few special guests. Frank and Brittany, tell them who's going to be here.
So tomorrow we're going to be joined by Dr. Camilla Taffa, who is the chair of the Department of Natural Sciences. And he'll be here to talk about our physics and astronomy programs, which I've taken an astronomy class from HCC, and it was really interesting.
Definitely.
And tomorrow, since it will be Wednesday, we will have our regular guest, Chief Greg Cunningham of the HCC Police Department.
We always enjoy having the chief on the show. It's one of Brittany's favorite days because it's the middle of the week, even though it's a shortened week. We hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for being here with us on Up to the Minute. We will see you tomorrow live at 10 a.m.